Hi, this is Dave from Free Run Speed. Today we're going to talk about the Saucony Endorphin Pro. Back in 2015, I was having coffee with a friend who worked in the running shoe industry for his entire career, always on the brand side as sales manager or product manager. Did lots of different things in the running shoe world. And he made a comment to me that I thought was not strange, but surprising. He said, "Dave, there are no innovations left in running shoes. It's now foam against foam or minimalism versus whatever, but that's not an innovation as we know. There are just no more innovations left." A year and a half later, at the start line of the Olympic marathon, Jared Ward looks down and sees these Nike shoes that he's never seen before. And to some extent, he sees those shoes run away from him. Jared's a Saucony athlete. 8 months after that marathon, the Nike Breaking 2 project is revealed, and the Vaporfly 4% is launched to you, the runner. It was inevitable that Saucony and every brand addressed it, and the way Saucony did it was different. They used Jared Ward to help them determine what was needed in that racing shoe. So before we get into what it feels like, let's talk about the tech. The Saucony Endorphin Pro. Some specs. It's 33 millimeters in the heel and 25 millimeters in the forefoot. That gives it an 8 millimeter heel to toe drop. The same is true on the women's side. So the women's is also 33-25. The weight on the men's size and a men's size 9 is 7.5 ounces or 212 grams. And on the women's size 8, it's 6.8 ounces and 192 grams. The midsole is a Pebax foam. Same foam used in the Vaporfly Next Percent. There's a carbon plate that runs from somewhere back here all the way up through the forefoot, and it's shaped along with the midsole to give what Saucony calls a speed roll, which is very similar to the Meta Rocker used in Hoka One One. The upper is a single layer engineered mesh. The tongue is completely attached, so it's a sleeve. The heel fit will fit a narrow foot really well. There's some foam in here to hold your heel in place. Sock liner comes out. And in general, the fit is what you would expect from a racing shoe. It's quite narrow back here in the heel. It's kind of low across the midfoot. And there is some room up here in the forefoot, but it's not ultra roomy. This shoe is meant to be strapped on so that you can go fast. When I put this shoe on for the first time, I used it on an easy 1 hour run. It's a course that I do virtually every Thursday. I put the shoe on my feet and I started to run. My legs were tired. They were tired from a hard run 2 days before that and then a hard bike the day before. They were tired. I start my run. and I can kind of feel the fatigue in my legs. Very quickly I remember, oh, there are some downhills in this run that I think I'm going to feel. And you know that feeling when you're about to run downhill and your quads ache and you just don't want to take another step going downhill? But something flashed in my mind. One of the comments that Jared Ward said when he helped Saucony on the development of this is that he wanted a shoe that when he ran downhill fast, really fast, he didn't want to feel the pounding that he normally did in a racing flat. And so when I got to the top of that hill before I ran down, I thought of that and thought, why not? Let's see what happens. And I let go. And I started to turn my legs over and run as fast as I could down that hill. And what do you know? I couldn't feel my legs. They were not hurting. I continued to run at my easy pace. I did the turnaround. I start heading back. Generally that run takes me 56, 57 minutes. I stopped the clock the same place I always stop it, and I had run 52 minutes. I should not have been able to run 52 minutes. My legs, they were not in that kind of shape or did not feel that good to be running 52 minutes. But the effort wasn't hard. So something was different. The Pebax midsole that I talked about, the same that's in the Vaporfly, Next Percent, and the Alpha Fly, feels alive. So you guys have watched my Reebok Float Ride Fast video. A lot of you have watched it. It's the same midsole that's in that shoe. It's the same midsole that's in the Vaporfly. So it pops off the ground. The rocker, when you're walking in it, this shoe feels kind of weird. And that's a good thing. I actually think racing shoes shouldn't feel great when you're walking in them. When you run at a slower than normal pace and you sit back on your heel a little bit, it doesn't feel bad, but you don't get the full effect of the shoe. When you lean into the run and you start to pick up the pace and you start to pick up your turnover, that's when this shoe comes alive and when it feels the absolute best. I'll talk about another test that I did. Every 3 or 4 months I have a 20-minute effort where I go to the track and I run as hard as I think I can hold for an hour, but I only run 20 minutes and I measure it. I measure the effort through my heart rate, I measure on my stride power meter, and I measure the actual distance I ran. The previous test was done on a Mondo track in the Nike Vaporfly Next Percent. Well, the Mondo track is closed now because of COVID. So I had to go to the junior high track, which is a sand track. Yes, we still have sand tracks here in California. So it was a sand track. And I ran it in this shoe. Everything else, the warm-up, everything else was equal. So, without the Mondo track and without the Vaporfly Next Percent, I ran the exact same distance, but I needed 3 more seconds. So I'm not looking at my watch, I'm not watching pace, that's the whole idea. You're supposed to gauge what that 1 hour effort feels like. I did that on both runs. Now, my fitness could be a great deal better than it was 3 months ago. So we have to keep that into perspective. And I'm not saying that this shoe is faster than the 4%. I'm just saying that this shoe is in the game. And so that when my 50 miler is over and hopefully this pandemic is over and we can get back to racing on the roads, I'm going to have a tough decision. Do I race in this shoe, the next percent, or maybe the Alpha Fly if I decide to get it? It's going to be a tough decision because this shoe feels that good. I hope your running is going great. And if you have any questions about this shoe or questions about anything about running shoes, leave comments below. Thanks a lot for watching. Have a great day.